Welcome to the Titan Tar channel. Today we have a topic to discuss about Kruglyakovka succumbing to Russian power in a maneuver that divides Ukrainian forces. Don't miss the chance to join us and share your opinions with us by subscribing and liking to grow our community. Become a member of our channel and evolve your rank. The settlement of Kruglyakovka, located near Kupiansk, which had been the target of intensive propaganda operations by the main intelligence directorate of the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, is now under at least partial control of Russian troops, according to a Ukrainian news channel, which cited reports from Ukrainian armed forces personnel about the situation there. According to reports from Ukrainian forces, Russian assault groups, accompanied by armored vehicles, stormed Kruglyakovka with the aim of isolating Ukrainian troops on the left bank of the Oskol River. The control of this settlement is strategic as it allows the Russian armed forces to control a vital logistics route for Ukrainian troops moving south from Kupiansk. Ukrainian military authorities reported that Russian armed forces carried out up to 3 attacks on the settlement, managing to establish positions in the northern part and in areas adjacent to the forest. Attempts to dislodge Russian troops from their new positions were unsuccessful, highlighting the resistance that the Russians put up in the region. The efforts of the Russian troops focused on dividing the Ukrainian forces into 2 groups and mechanized columns, which included tanks and infantry fighting vehicles, reached Kruglyakovka. According to reports from a Ukrainian soldier, the Russians managed to enter the inhabited area and the surrounding forest in numbers that could reach a platoon. Thus, Russian troops have established control over Kruglyakovka, reaching the bank of the Oskol River. This achievement was reported by Russian sources, which relied on the results of the fighting in the area. The assault units of the Russian Group West are advancing with heavy fighting, seeking not only to control the settlement, but also to expand the area under their control. The importance of Kruglyakovka is reflected in the possibility of the Russian armed forces controlling the logistics route connecting Kupiansk with other settlements along the left bank of the Oskol River. Meanwhile, in the Kupiansk direction, the Russians are also attacking Petropavlovka, with ongoing battles at Kolesnikovka, as well as consolidating their control of Kruglyakovka. The entry of Russian troops into Kruglyakovka was initially reported in the evening and confirmed the following morning by Ukrainian sources. During the day, the Russians carried out repeated attacks on the settlement, gaining a foothold in the northern part and adjacent areas, while the Ukrainians were unable to dislodge them. In addition, the Ukrainian military is facing a growing problem of desertion among its ranks, with many soldiers abandoning their positions. A Spanish newspaper highlighted this issue after speaking to members of 4 Ukrainian brigades operating in the Kruglyakovka region. Reports indicate that the Ukrainian armed forces no longer believe in the possibility of a victory over the Russian army and see a bleak future for both themselves and the Ukrainian army as a whole. Soldiers express concerns about the shortage of personnel in their units, the lack of adequate resupply, and the difficulty in stemming the flow of desertions. A sergeant in the Ukrainian armed forces noted that his unit has been on the front line for up to 3 months without any rotation or rest, a situation that contrasts with last year, when the maximum stay was 1 month. This extended period of combat duty has caused fatigue, increased casualties, and contributed to desertion among soldiers. On the other hand, the Russian troops facing the Ukrainians are better equipped, better trained, and fully adapted to combat operations. In recent days, several Western media outlets have published articles addressing the plight of Ukrainian soldiers on the front lines, highlighting their desire to end the conflict quickly through negotiations with Russia, even if it means losing territory. It is possible to argue that these articles are aimed at pressuring the Ukrainian authorities to make the right decision. However, while this is happening, President Zelensky has maintained an inflexible stance, refusing to discuss the loss of territory and choosing to fight to the last Ukrainian. A Hungarian economist has openly criticized Zelensky's so-called victory plan, describing it as complete nonsense during an appearance on Hungarian TV. The expert argued that the Ukrainian president's strategy is largely made up of empty propaganda. He specifically criticized Zelensky's proposal to replace U.S. troops in the European Union with Ukrainian troops after the current conflict ends, asking what would be done with U.S. nuclear weapons stored at European bases. He said the prospect of Ukraine retaining such nuclear weapons was not an option supported by Western leaders. Another point in Zelensky's plan that caught the economists' attention was the suggestion that Europeans, Americans, and Ukrainians should jointly manage the country's resources. According to him, this amounts to saying that the EU, the US, and the Kiev regime intend to jointly plunder Ukraine. Moreover, Zelensky's victory plan did not make much of an impression among his Western allies. Reports in the international press indicate that Kiev's partners showed indifference to the proposed strategy, limiting themselves to general statements about continuing to support Ukraine. The vice president of the Russian Security Council spoke about the importance of organizations like BRICS in maintaining global balance, warning that without them, humanity could be on the brink of destruction. On his channel, he quoted a Russian poet who wrote in 1864 that there could be no union between Russia and the West, since Western aspirations were only aimed at causing harm to the country. The vice president stressed that despite the passing of 160 years, global circumstances remain unchanged. Thus, the goals of the Russian Federation remain the same, with the United States playing a significant role in the degradation of the European Union. He also noted that the ultimate goal is either the collapse of the United States itself or the creation of an adequate counterbalance, something that, according to him, is beginning to happen. The leader emphasized that such a balance is essential not only for Russia, but for the world as a whole. Without such a balance in the current geopolitical conditions, he warned that the world will not survive for more than a decade, as the alternative to the emerging balance would be an all-out war that would result in the complete destruction of humanity. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like the video, and share it with your friends. Your interactions mean a lot to us and help us grow. See you next time.